Welcome everyone to an episode of the Definitive Crusade. I'm your host, joining Machine Hughes, and joining me from across the big pond, as always, is the lovely Freyja.
Hi guys. Hi.
Hey, how's it going? You all right?
Going good. Going good.
Halloween is just around the corner. Or as this
Yeah.
lands, it has just been. I hope you got lots of candy.
Oh, well, I bought myself some candy. Yes.
Yeah. Good
Heck
call.
yeah.
Good call. Right, so it's a big week for DC. Big fortnight. We've had the drop of Black Adam, which I was lucky enough to see. I went to the pictures to see that, the cinema, or whatever you call
The
it over there,
theater.
the theater. Have to say, it's a bit of a roller coaster. It's all right. It's a decent little movie, I thought. I know you said before the show you're waiting for the HBO. Yes.
Yeah. I'm cheap like that. Unless I hear the movie's amazing, I'm not spending $14 on a movie theater.
Well, this is we managed to get this place at I think it cost £15 for the pair of
Okay.
us. Leather recliner seats, big
Ooh.
wide seats as standard. So no, it was cool. So plus it was a birthday treat that my wife paid for. So yeah, if you like your Justice Society, there's going to be a little bit of nod of those. There is. You have to hang back through the credits. I'm just saying that.
Yeah. Well, everyone already knows.
Well, I'm not
Everyone
saying
knows.
anything about that. I'm just just in case there are people living under a rock. That's fine. But of course, that's just one aspect of the multimedia machine that is DC Comics. Also, dropping over the last fortnight has been the new Gotham game. Now, as I complained before, I have a PlayStation 4 or a PlayStation 7 if I tie my 3 to it, but never mind.
Yeah.
And I don't use a computer. I'm a laptop kind of guy. Freyja, you're a gamer. Have you had a chance to walk the dark streets of Gotham?
They're not so dark streets of Gotham.
It looks quite bright.
It's quite bright. It's quite bright. Yeah. I was like, dang. And I know everyone's like, don't compare it to, Arkham Asylum or, I was like, but how can you not?
Exactly. Exactly.
It's significantly brighter, for one thing. And it just for a new like PS5 for like new gen console exclusive, it's kind of disappointing. I'm just gonna say it. I haven't beaten it, but it's disappointing. I have issues with designs with some of the characters, specifically Harley's outfit. I hate it, but
Oh, is there a new Harley outfit?
it's like it's so ugly. Just look it up. I hate.
I'm looking now. Harley Gotham Knights.
I hate the stupid thing.
Oh,
I don't like it. I don't know. I just
it's kind of like an Injustice skin, isn't it? A little bit.
kind of, yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. I didn't like
Who do you play as the most then? Because you've got the main hook of the game is there's no Batman anymore, so you're playing as either Batgirl, that's Barbara Gordon Batgirl, Robin.
Yeah.
Is it the Damian Robin or is it Tim?
I believe it's Tim. I never play as him, so
then of course you've got Nightwing.
Yeah.
And then you've got Jason Todd, who nobody ever plays as Jason Todd.
No,
right?
well, some people play as Jason Todd. Like Tracy would play as Jason Todd.
Matthew would play as Jason
Matthew
Todd.
would play as Jason Todd.
Yeah.
I flip flop. I like playing as Grayson and Batgirl because
I'll go with Batgirl.
Well, of course you would. You stare at her ass the whole time.
No, she's wearing a cape. She's wearing a cape. I'm all right. In fact, the Arkham Knight. I've had the Arkham Knight game like a couple of times. And I keep thinking I'll go back for a third time just to do the Batgirl download, the DLC again, because I quite like the Batgirl in Arkham Knight. But how does this compare then to Arkham Knight? Because that was the big Arkham reveal.
Yeah.
Is it better, worse? Is the gameplay?
For me, it was glitchy. I know some people are saying, "Oh yeah, no, I had no problems." I'm like, "Good for you." It was glitchy for me, and it was kind of like in some instances the frame rate would drop. It would be chugging like chugging along. I was like, what is going on? So maybe I just was unlucky and my download was just crap, but it wasn't that good for me. But like I said, some people are like, oh, it's great for me. I'm like, cool. For me, not so much. And like I said, I don't like how bright it is. It's too bright for a Gotham game.
I mean, I've got a soft spot for Arkham Origins. I'm not gonna lie, I like Arkham Origins.
Oh, I will say one good thing though. The beginning with Batman and I believe it was Ra's al Ghul fight in the Batcave was pretty cool. I liked that.
Yes, I've seen the.
It's cool. I like the fight.
I was a little bit put off by the Batman costume, to be honest, and kind of how languid he is. He's quite lean as opposed to the other shows, the other games. He's quite bulky, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, everyone, if you no, Jason Todd's pretty bulky in this game.
Yeah, well.
I didn't even realize it was Jason Todd because he looked like a freaking linebacker.
Look at you using a football term.
Hey, I know football. I know football. Doesn't mean I like. Hey, it's a football term with a character I don't like, so it still counts.
Fair point.
Yeah.
All right, so enough of the other side of the multimedia machine of DC. Let's get to where we are talking our usual chitty chat. First up, this young lady makes a startling return. This is Punchline, the Gotham game. This is number 1 of 6. It's a 6-issue miniseries, so we've got that to look forward to. Written by Tini Howard and Blake Howard. Art by Gleb Melnikov. If you recognize his name, it's from the Angel Boom series. Colors are by Luis Guerra, and letters are by Becca Carey. There we go. No credit for the letterer. Ooh, I'm not giving up on my hill yet. All right, okay. What did you think of this? The Clown Countess of Crime.
Did they have like an artist change like halfway through the book?
Nope, not that I know of.
Okay, because the art all of a sudden just like takes a drastic, just like nosedive halfway through the book or after the intro. Because it was looking good, it was looking fine. Yeah, she got some thick thighs going on, but then it like really then it just went ridiculous. Like on page when they introduced the royal flush king and queen.
Oh well, this goes like, I don't understand how you can go from quite straight-edged, square-jawed characters to cartoony cheesecake straight away.
It was weird. Like the next page when Punchline's at the door, I'm like, whoa! From like the hips down, she's a completely different person.
And from the hips up, she's a completely different person. I mean, it is for Christ's sake, it's Vulcan.
Yeah, she like it's so wonky. Her legs are just massive, and then her torso and head and arms are tiny. I'm like, what is this? It's weird. I hate, and then the art just was so distracting through the entire book. And then the dialogue just, it made me want to vomit sometimes. I'm like, can we not? It just, and I guess the whole story is that they're doing a drug deal and they're infecting people and blah, blah, blah. And she's kidnapped this guy from the party. And they're going to use him as a guinea pig. But yeah, that's essentially it. It was like, okay, cool. And then I did like Bruce Wayne in this because then they went back to like normal art style again. I was like, what the frick is going on with this art style? What is going on? So I'm like, did someone go to lunch and then have like the intern take over him and they come back from lunch? It was just because at the end where it's like, this is Bruce Wayne. All of a sudden they go to Square Jaws again. And I'm like, what is this art style?
I think back in I've seen his work before, Melnikov's. I have the Angel Run, which I recognize his name from, and that's really quite straight laced and quite square, and I quite like it that way. Yeah. When it comes to Punchline, no matter who seems to draw her, the girl's got a set of pins on her.
Yeah,
she's got a set of legs, and I'm all for that. I don't like the fact that she's gone for a straight normal boot as opposed to the stiletto that she used to have. It's like, come on, it's comic books. We should be able to handle the fact she's walking around in boots, whatever. The art, I agree with you. It changes. It goes from cartoon faces to square jaws to square postures to cartoon jaws. It is a little bit all over the place from that point of view. I could also do without, I don't know how you feel about this, I can also do without the text online streamer speak.
Oh, yeah.
Books. Because,
especially that's the part that makes me want to vomit. I'm like, can we not? I mean, I want to punch people in the face who do that in real life. Alcohol. You're lucky you're so far away.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Well, the thing that gets me about it is this: if you're going to use something like text or online speak, it's a passing thing, so you're going to age the book.
Oh, right? Yeah.
The second thing is, as a gimmick, it's used to help younger readers get into it because it makes it more relatable to them. Agreed? And then halfway through the book, on the pages you don't like, and I don't like particularly, the book goes super adult because the king and queen are waiting for a threesome.
Oh yeah, they have a girl on the way.
There's intimation instead of the intimate, and there's going to be a bunch of kids who are going to go to the parents and go, "What are they talking about?"
And, Dad, what's going on?
Yeah, and that's an awkward conversation. So for me, it's kind of like, if you want to be adult, be adult.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be masses friendly and you want to go with something as coy as text speak, go with text speak. You cannot mix the two up. It just doesn't gel. It's just a whole juxtaposition there that just doesn't work. You can't be kid friendly and talk about menage a trois in the same book. It's just how it.
Yeah. And did they just like hire a girl to dress up as Punchline and do a threesome, or were they really not like? Or are they really that stupid not know who Punchline is? It's like, oh, you must be the girl. Like, I would think she was like a Joker person. Be like, you can't be the girl we hired, right?
Yeah. Maybe they didn't hire it, Craigslist and all that,
Yeah, well, still though, how would you not know who Punchline is? She was all over the news. She worked with the Joker. Like, you know what she looks like. It would be like, oh, Joker came in for the threesome, and they didn't know who Joker was. It's just kind of like, at least have her in her street clothes. She does have those, right? Like, I don't know why they have to stay. This isn't freaking even anime has them change clothes now. It's not the Power Rangers, or she's not Cyborg. She can change her clothes.
She can wear a purple top over blue jeans and still be Punchline.
Yeah.
What do you think of colours? I thought the colours of the book worked really well.
Yeah, the colours were good per usual.
What do we think of Tina Howard as a writer? Because I mean, Tina Howard, we've seen her on Detective a couple of times, and she's done bits and bobs here and there. I know you were. I don't think you were particularly enamored with her when you heard she was coming on to Detective. How do you think it's been for her?
Okay. It really takes a lot for me to change my mind on like writers and stuff. But unless you like hit it out of the park, it's not gonna. I'll be like, yeah. I still have that nasty taste in my mouth. Like, you could have burnt dinner and given me like dessert, but it's still not like, if it's chocolate chip cookies, it's not enough.
Okay, fair enough. Fair shout. Yeah, fair shout. We've had Punchline's introduction in the Joker, in the Clown War, the thing with Batman, the Joker War. We then had her as a backup in the Batman Detective Comics for a while. Do we think that she's getting the same sort of press that Harley gets?
No.
Is she supposed to be the anti-Harley, do you think?
I would hope not, because she has Harley-isms, especially in this book, where I'm like, are they trying to like make her as Harley's replacement, or because she's kind of leaning into that Harley-ness, like when they were doing the mad scientist joke.
All right.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. We didn't need you to point out the joke punchline. Yeah. Thanks for that. And it was like, this just kind of, it felt like something Harley would say, a little less annoying, in a way than Harley would have said it, but it still seems like something Harley would have said. And that's when like, but at the same time, that just might be me just comparing the two because they were both Joker's girlfriends.
On the flip side, it is good to see the Royal Flush Gang again. I recently just watched the Batman Beyond episode where they come in and Terry falls for Melanie. So I love the Royal Flush Gang. So.
Yeah, they're great. Or that sad episode with Ace on the swings.
Oh yes, what a corker episode! That's the one where they kind of try to explain the whole Terry McGinnis Bruce Wayne thing, isn't it? And Amanda Waller's telling the story. Well, that is a good episode.
It was good. It was a very good episode.
Yeah. Even if Ace does look a little bit more like Raven than Ace. But...
Yeah. Well, everyone looked a little more like Raven than themselves in that series.
Not that I have a problem with that. I'm like, I like the Ravenator. Let's keep it like that. Yeah. Ravenator is what I call it for Injustice when I play Injustice. Geez. Yeah. Bring out the Ravenator. What can I say? I'm a nerd.
Yes, you are.
I am that close. I am that close to getting Zatanna on Injustice 2 on my mobile. That close.
I'm surprised you haven't gotten her yet.
Well, I've been trying to, but I've got 108. So nothing's guaranteed on those mobile games, right?
Yeah, it's a money sucker.
Yeah. So you get, oh, look, click now, use your gems to get Zatanna. So you click it, and then you realize it's like 0.001% chance of getting the character you want. And you get so I end up for characters that I'm not interested in and I can't upgrade, I've got something like 1,436 shards for Firestorm. Who cares?
Yeah. Care if you
so
know
180 out of 200, so I'm there. I'm almost there.
Nice.
Zatanna. So
nice. Keep spending that money.
Don't be like that.
I know.
Okay. All right. Next up is a little bit of a curious book, if I'm honest. I didn't know what to make of this, especially the timing of it. We've just had the One Bad Day Riddler book, which was fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. And now we're back to the Riddler. This is Riddler Year 1. It's a Black Label book. It's written by Paul Dano, who plays the Riddler or Edward Nygma in the Batman movie. Art by Steve Subic. Was that how you pronounce it? That's how I'm pronouncing it.
Yeah, sure.
That could be.
Who knows?
Who knows? And letters by Clayton Cowles. Now, I was happy with One Bad Day. And when I looked at this book, I was like, oh, no, not again. Just let one book be canon, for Christ's sakes, right?
Yeah.
And then I looked at it, and then I read the book, and I'm like, oh, right, this isn't even DC Comics continuity. This is the Batman movie continuity.
Yeah.
And from that point, my interest level went like that.
Yeah.
For me, you don't need to explain everything. I don't need to see how Obi-Wan and Darth Vader had a fight. I don't need to see it. I know it happened. That's it. End of. I don't need them to go back and show another fight that the two had. I get it. They don't like each other. I'm an adult. I can, if this happens, it happens, and that's it. I don't need to say it all. So
I don't need to know how Mordor was created in Lord of the Rings.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, you see, the orcs built some tunnels and they filled them with water, and then they flooded the Mount Doom, and it caused it to explode, and that's how we get Mordor. I'm like, yeah, and I don't give a shit.
I don't care how Randall joined the rebellion. I don't care.
I don't care. Exactly.
Anyway, back to this. It's a Black Label book, so expect some shenanigans. Were you impressed by this book?
Not really, but so for this particular one, I just kind of randomly picked it. I like the use of color in this. I don't know how to explain it. It's it kind of reminds me of the Sandman universe use of color. It's just, and then he sees everyone as monsters and whatnot. And he was complaining about how he's been at this company for 5 years, and this one guy who is blonde and then he becomes brunette later on in the book, how he's just barely here for 5 months, but he's the boss now. So he either has a really nice degree or he's, knows somebody. And I was like, well, yeah.
I know a guy who can.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, I know how that is, but it could be a mixture of the two, or like he says later, like the guy says later on in the book, he's like, if you're able to talk to people like you're able to do your work, then you would, be running this place essentially. I'm like, yeah, because if you're this like very quiet, like to yourself person, you are going to be passed up for promotions because they want the charismatic people, up there, because you're the ones who have to do the meetings. You have to be doing the talking. You become the face of the company. You need to be the charmer. And I was like, yeah, it sucks, but reality sucks, and that's just how it is.
Wait a minute, that's my role on this show. Thanks. Son of a. What
happened there? But I mean, it's just, that's how adult life is. You have to make yourself uncomfortable and put yourself out there and force yourself to be charismatic when you're at work, even if you're not. I mean, I have to do that all the time. I'm very much an introvert, but here I am, and so like,
I don't see you as in any shape, way, or form.
Oh, I totally am. No. And like this whole story, I agree with you. I don't need, the villain's this way, because I do not care. I just want to watch the movie, and I don't care what, like, give me why he's blowing people up in the movie. Sure, yeah, okay, cool. But I don't need his whole like, well, back when I was a child, there was a kid who kicked sand in my face this one time. I don't need to know that because I don't care. And that's another reason I have an issue I have with like modern just crap in general nowadays too. It's like they over explain everything. It was that thing people were passing around one time. They're like, well, like they're getting rid of the wonder in superheroes by over explaining everything. Like when you talk to a kid and they're like, well, how does, Batman able to do this or that? And they're like, well, because he's Batman. And then as an adult, you have to go, oh, well, because of physics and, this and that, and that he has money and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, so, and then when you're over explaining things, you kill the fun. You're like, cool.
You must have met Lucas on No Prize Podcast. He loves it when science is used. It's like, I'm like, dude, it's a comic book. I don't need to know the science behind how Spider-Man can wear his costume and climb up a wall, but has to take his shoes off so he can climb with his socks on. I don't need to know the science. I just know that's what happens. That's it.
Superhero. If we're using real science, it wouldn't be happening anyway. It's comics. Realistically, none of this would work. And it's just, no, I don't need everything over explained to me. I want everything simplified, like freaking Powerpuff Girls, sugar, spice, everything nice, and chemical X, and then we have Powerpuff Girls. That's all I need to know. Cool. I don't need a background on how did Catwoman get so flexible? Get her superhuman abilities. I don't care. It's just ridiculous.
For me, I agree with you on this one, to be fair. I think the art is interesting. Sometimes when he's at the start of the book, when he's in his little cubicle, it seems like washed out, antiseptic, like a hospital type thing. Where nothing, in the two focus is him and his boss. And then as we go across, we see the darkness that's sort of within him. There are lots of nods to the movie. Things like he thinks that Batman's a paragon of hope. You get to see the renewal program. You get to see all these, like, hints and tips that if you watch the movie a couple of times, you're like, oh yeah, I know what's going on there.
Yeah.
And he's in this. You're like, okay, so then all this other stuff goes on. And for me, Jim Carrey didn't need to write a comic book to explain his Riddler after Batman Forever.
It was the freaking Riddler.
Yeah, he's the Riddler, right? And Jack Nicholson didn't have to write a comic book to explain his Joker in Batman from '89.
No.
And I know for a fact that no other character is written about,
we didn't need a comic book about
Michael
Zod.
Keaton hasn't. Yeah, Christian Bale hasn't written a comic book about why Bruce Wayne's better. So, to be honest, I think this is a publicity piece more than anything.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think it's trying to be cleverer than it actually is.
Yeah.
Because there's no real impact or ramifications of this. If this is going to be based on a movie continuity, then whatever happens in the next movie could essentially wipe it out. And if you've done that, then it's just a waste of money. An experiment that's a waste of money.
It's just an ad at that point. It's like the Galactic Star Cruisers books that they put out, comics that they put out for the Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel. Yeah. You're like, okay, so it's an ad. All right. Why would I buy this?
Is it a good ad? Well, it's well produced.
I mean, an ad doesn't mean it's bad. It's just it's an ad. At the end of the day, it's just an ad, and you're like, okay.
I'm going to be a little bit honest. I'm a little bit bored with this whole sort of like the villain having a voice and kind of telling his piece as if I care. Dude, you're the villain. That's it.
It's like how Harley and Ivy are now part of the Bat family, and they had Clayface on there. I'm like, can we just? Even back then, I was like, can we not? And then they killed Clayface. I'm like, good. I don't. Well, I'm like, I don't care. I'm sick of these redemption arc things for their villains. I'm like, it's so boring. It's just, it's not creative. It's boring. I dislike it immensely. I'm not going to buy the books. And, because it makes the villains boring. Let's be honest. Yeah. When they all of a sudden become good guys, it makes them boring because the reason that they were popular in the first place is because of how unhinged they are.
Exactly. And you don't need to know what the unhingedness is to enjoy them. You just expect them to be unhinged. Yeah. I don't need to hear Ra's al Ghul's story about how he lost his wife. I don't want to feel sympathy for the guy. I want to dislike the guy.
Yeah. It's like,
and when it's done right, don't get me wrong, Killing Joke. Yeah. Par excellence. Well done. The One Day More. That's a One Day More. What am I talking about? The One Bad Day for the Riddler book. Brilliant. Yeah. The Two-Face version. Terrible.
Yeah.
You kind of. I don't need all the psychopath. Is it? Do you think that people, the creators, writers, artists, do you think they're just getting a little bit bored? Or they don't see any other avenues for like Bruce Wayne or Batman to go down. So therefore, I know, let's do something about the villains for a change. And
or we can create a new character and make them go different things. But that would take too much effort. And they don't have the fan base already built. And blah, 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 blah. So let's destroy the current fan base that already likes Batman. Or, they'll just go back to the old comics as they should and would. And not read this new crap. And, because that's, it's like the new Robin book. It's absolute garbage. The Tim Drake one that we want.
Oh, yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. I mean,
so they have a Tim Drake Robin book, previously.
I don't understand. I don't know anybody who's buying the new Batman, the Jace Batman. I don't know anybody who's buying that.
And that was supposed to be quote unquote only for the event. We all knew that was a lie from this day one. They're like, no, this is them testing the waters, which, this was more of them just like, hey, like sneakily, no, it's not going to be permanent. It's just going to be an event. And like, haha, surprise, it is permanent.
And I think moving forward, they're talking about like Batman versus Batman, who's going to be the Batman of Gotham. And I'm like,
Bruce Wayne.
Does anybody actually know or care that who it's gonna be? Because we all know who it should be.
It's going to be Bruce Wayne because
yeah,
Jace gets his ass handed to him constantly.
Yeah, so it's got to be Bruce Wayne. But
yeah,
hey ho. Right, time for a break. As he says as he tries to clear his throat at the same time. All right, time for a break. We haven't had this one for a while. So, Crisis in the Toyverse. There you have it, Crisis in the Toyverse with Bobo. Every time I see that Keanu Reeves figure, I think that should come with a replaceable head. Because all you need to do is like without the beard, you know what I'm saying? And that way
yeah.
Because oh look, there's John Wick. Take it up. Oh look, it's Neo. Look, it's the replacements, and so on and so forth.
Bill and Ted.
Parenthood. Point Break.
Yeah, Point Break.
Man of Tai Chi.
Oh jeez.
I am not a fan. Actually, I'm not a fan that much. I like John Wick.
I can tell.
My wife and my brother love
Keanu.
Yeah, I like the first Matrix movie, The Replacements because it's about American football, Parenthood, but that's an ensemble cast.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. That's what I'm done with that. So Man from Tai Chi.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So it's funny. We're being a little bit Bat-centric this week.
Well, the books that came out recently, they're like all Batman.
Yeah. So we're going to take another dive into a book, and I've got to be honest. I recently asked my local comic book shop, the Dial Knight in Darlington, what's going on with this book? Because I haven't seen the 4th issue, and the 3rd issue came out like practically, it feels like 3 years ago. Maybe not quite that much, I'm exaggerating. This is Catwoman, Lonely City, number 4 of 4, another Black Label book. Cliff Chiang did everything. He wrote it, did the pictures, put the colors on there, did the letters, sent it to the printer, got it stapled, whatever you could do with this book, practically he did it. And this was kind of one of my calls because I have actually enjoyed the setup for this book more than I suppose the final pages. So Selina's on a bit of a quest, to say the least. She's been 10 years ago. She was told by a dying Batman to go to the cave and use Orpheus. This book, we kind of get the flashback of what happened 10 years ago. Lo and behold, it's a Joker thing. Would you know it, right? And everyone knows that Bruce is Bruce, and so on and so forth. From there, we do segue straight into the cave. The action there with Etrigan as they're trying to break some sort of seal on the cave. From there, it's a case of two faces. They realize that the cave computers are controlling all the surveillance in Gotham City. Harvey comes in. They have a great big massive fight. Some people die, and some people don't. For me, this reads. I don't know how you think about what you think about this. It reads like Catwoman's version of The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, I can see
from especially that final book this time around, because you've got the Bat Tank in this. Yay. You've also got Alfred dies again.
Yep.
Yeah. And then you've got the sort of like the back from the brink element with Barbara and Selena coming to some sort of agreement. There is a range of different characters in here. So you get Clarion, you get Zatanna, you've got Ivy, you've got Barbara, you've got Catwoman. I don't think, if I'm brutally honest, I don't think the landing is stuck as well as the setup. I thought the setup was a lot better. And I could have done without all the extra stuff because it just bored me. I did like the say it backwards element for Zatanna. Yeah. And of course, we've got fishnet, so.
Fishnet.
Yeah, woo. But overall, I mean, the art's unique, but it's been that way all the way through. I don't know. I expected something more, I think, for the ending. What did you think of this book? Have you been reading the run?
No. I didn't like the artwork, and you said it was like 10 years ago. So is everyone supposed to be 85 or what? How old are they supposed to be?
So this is present time. Mm-hmm. But in the story, Selena's just been released from a 10-year prison sentence.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone is, if you think from the current DC universe, plus 10, which again is a mirror of the Dark Knight Rises, not Dark Knight Rises, Dark Knight Returns.
So let's see. I'm trying to think. Current Batman.
So this page here, this is what happened 10 years ago, sorry. And this is what ends up killing Batman and Selena goes to prison. This bit where she's here, this is 10 years after that event. She's been released from prison and she's going to continue with the Orpheus quest.
So they're what? 40s, 50s?
40s, late 40s, early 50s, yeah.
Okay, so why does everyone have gray hair like they're in their 80s?
Well, just bear in mind that I have just turned 51.
Or sorry, not 80s.
And I have grey hair. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah, I know.
As long as you've known me, I've had grey hair. Mainly because of you, granted.
Yeah, but they look so. They don't look like they're in their 40s.
Okay.
They look like way older with the face and the hair. They look like they're in their late 50s, maybe early 60s. And everyone. And I guess Ivy put on some weight.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't know a plant person could do that. But okay. Also, were they alluding to Ivy and Catwoman having a thing?
It's alluded to in the previous book.
Selena, I have to tell you something. I know, Ivy, I know. I'm like, oh God. Does someone take writing classes from the frickin' Days of Our Lives staff? I know. I know, Ivy, I know. Melodrama. Oh, I know.
Freyja, I have to tell you something.
Nah, it's okay. But like, nah, I'm good.
I'm going to you.
Good luck with that. Yeah. But like, I don't know. They looked way too old for what they were going for. I don't know who in their right mind would freaking vote Harvey Denton as mayor. Even Gotham. Seriously. But then they got Barbara coming in, which once again, if she's supposed to be in her 30s. Also, did Barbara become a lesbian? Or is that Katie? No, that's Gordon.
That's Gordon.
So
she's got a haircut shot.
She became a lesbian?
Oh.
Yeah, she became a lesbian.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, then. Because that totally makes sense for Barbara. Should have been Katie. They should have put freaking Katie there. That should have been Katie Kane. It would have made more sense. No,
nice red tree.
Nice red tree. Sorry, I'm gonna go back to the Barbara thing because this just plays in to what some people on Twitter are saying about them literally changing every single freaking canonically straight character into a gay character or a lesbian character just because Barbara has been straight from day one, you know. They could have easily put Katie in here, Katie Kane. It would have made perfect sense, but no, they had to make they had to make Barbara into a lesbian. Not only that, they made her into the most stereotypical lesbian woman you would ever meet in your life. She has cut all of her hair off. She is now dressing very much masculine for whatever reason. And now she has a square jaw for some reason. It just doesn't. It really doesn't help your case, people, when people claim that you're doing this just for kicks and giggles, and they're like, oh no, we actually care, because this, to me, does not look like you care. It just looks like representation. Go, okay. We don't believe that gay characters can bring in people, so we're just going to make a popular character gay.
So let me ask you this question. Let me ask you a question then. Just to kind of counteract your
Katie.
I'm not saying Kate doesn't have the political nonsense that Barbara does.
No, well, at this point, who cares? Because also Barbara wasn't a lesbian before, but now she is. So why couldn't Katie, over the past 10 years, have gotten political power?
Just because a person has previously been one thing doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be that same thing throughout life. People do change. And I get where you're coming from. I understand where you're coming from, because it feels like every character is going through this.
Well, what it feels like as a member of that community, it feels like when they do this, it feels like it's pushing the narrative that it's a choice, and it's not. Because she has decided all of a sudden that she likes girls now.
For some people, it's a choice.
Tim has decided all of a sudden that he likes boys now, and that he doesn't like girls. And it's just, you see how it can feed into other people's things. Well, now you're just saying it's just a choice, and that's why I was like, and it also feels like they believe that these characters, we can't create new characters because they're not going to be popular enough, because no one cares. So why should we? Because we have canonically gay characters. Where are they?
Yeah, I get that.
Where are they? Why do we have to piggyback onto well-known established characters? Why can't we have our own characters? Where's Katie Kane? Where is she? Why can't she have her good books? Why does her books always have to suck when they're on their own? Sorry, this is just something that I'm all for representation and stuff, but this is not the way to do it, because it gives ammo to people who's saying, oh, your characters, they know your characters suck, so that's why we're not creating them for you.
No, and I get that. I understand that wholeheartedly. I get that. I understand that. But with the greatest respect, you're saying that it's not a choice, can be seen as equally close-minded as those people who are saying that it categorically is a choice, when the truth of the matter is, for some people it isn't a choice, and for some people it is. Some people love the person they're with, and they don't even recognize that as being with a bloke, or whether with a woman, or with someone who's non-binary, or somebody who's pan. So I think, whilst I agree with the sentiment of what you're saying, and that I think that Kathy Kane gets an absolute raw deal every time she has a solo book. I think the truth of the matter is there's a spectrum of this, and it's very much a case of some people it's not a choice, some people it is, some people just love the person they're with, and you know what? Everybody should try and be included. Does that mean that the characters we have to go through that change? Well, no, it doesn't. It means we should be able to create characters who have the strength of character to be who they are, whether that be bi, such as Tim, gay, such as John Kent, or gay or lesbian as Batwoman is, without having to pigeonhole other characters. And I've said before that equality means we treat everybody the same. Equality is not pushing one specific thing, one particular element up whilst also pushing the other thing down. That's not equality.
Yep.
That's just reverse discrimination. So really what we should do is we should push everybody up, yeah, so that everybody's on the same level playing field. See where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
But I believe we can do that without changing canonic characters into something
agreed
else.
Absolutely agreed. Absolutely.
Because
I suppose the Black Label book indicates that, you know what, some people do. You know, I know loads of people who have been in relationships with like man-woman relationships, and then one of them has turned out and said, you know what, I'm coming out as gay or lesbian, and off to go and live like a second life, I suppose, and start over again. And that, you know, that's equally as achievable and as fine to do as coming out as gay at the age of 13 and living your life from that point on as of being attracted to the same gender. Should they do it with kind of, as you said, characters that have kind of been existed? You know what? I think we could go around in circles on that for ages. But I agree with you. I agree with you on in this particular instance. She looks like Kathy Kane, apart from the wheelchair and the pipe. There makes no reason why Kathy Kane could not have been this character at all.
No.
But there you go. Do I get points for sitting on the fence there? I don't think so.
No, you get 0 points for sitting on the fence there.
I didn't sit on the fence. I said some stuff. I said some stuff. You know how much I love agreeing with you. So.
Yeah.
So this is a 4-issue book. I'm sure you'll get collected into a trade at some point. If you don't like Cliff Chiang's art, which you might have seen back in not Flashpoint, New 52 with Wonder Woman, then you're probably going to not like this book art-wise either. There's a bit in one of the books that kind of really annoyed me, in that Catwoman meets like a fan, and someone says, "Oh, I had your poster on my wall," and it was like, "Oh, which poster?" It was like, "Oh, the purple costume," you know, and she's like, you know, as if that's a bad thing. And then somebody says, "Oh, I've got your poster on my wall. Which one is it?" "Oh, it's the one where you're in like the black suit, the Darwin Cook one." And she's like, "Yeah, good choice." And I'm like, "What? What's wrong with the purple outfit?"
There's something wrong with the purple outfit.
Oh yeah, sorry. All right, okay. Last book. Now I picked this book for a couple of reasons. One, we seemed to enjoy it last time we looked at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought everyone was quite surprised about how good it is. And secondly, come January 2023, a certain Kryptonian makes her return. Take a guess. Who? Guess.
Oh, you actually want me to guess? Are we getting like Saturn Girl or something back?
Nope.
Dang
Better.
It. Power Girl?
Yes!
Yeah.
Yay, she's back. So I thought, you know what?
Boob window is back. No, they're probably going to get rid of the boob window.
Oh, no, the advert has her in the boob window.
Good. Well, good.
Let's see if I can find it while we're talking about this. Power Girl Action Comics. No.
So we'll just start.
We'll start.
So I like the artwork. Like last
time. Let me give you the stats. I always give the stats. Right. So this is. Well, we'll talk about the main story, not the backup story. So this is written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, art by Mike Perkins, colors by Lee Lothridge, letters by Dave Sharp. There you go. Excellent. Take it away. What did you think?
I like the art. Colors, art, everything was good. They're spending a day at the zoo, and then the New Gods pop up.
As they do.
As they do. And then they get in a fight with Superman, as you know, everyone does. And
yes, they do.
It's just pandemonium at the zoo, the poor zoo. Can I just say I hate zoos?
Yeah, I'm not. I've got to be honest. I'm not a big zoo fan. I'm not gonna lie.
The enclosures are not big enough for the animals, and it's just no, thank you. But yeah, so Superman's trying to figure out what to do with Warworld and all that. Warworld,
Yeah.
Warworld, and with these two kids, and they're with God, what was his name? Bobo? What? Bobo? Yeah. That's the character I haven't seen in a long time. That's just kind of the whole thing with this book. Is like that's a character I haven't seen in a while, you know, sort of thing. And I'm enjoying the story. Kind of slightly confused a little bit, but all I know is Warworld's here and pandemonium is ensuing, and Superman's trying to be, you know, Superman.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this whole side thing with Lex, who wants to, I guess, take control of Warworld, and he's using freaking John Metallo, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or he's trying to use Metallo. That's what it is.
Use Metallo.
Yeah.
You know, from the last panel of the first part of this book, you know he's going to use him.
Yeah, he's going to use him.
Yeah.
So it's just there's two storylines going on at the same time. I'm interested because Lex in this, I believe he thinks he's in the right in what he's doing, but then again, he always kind of feels like he is. It seems like, but he feels like he's doing the right thing, and then there's Superman doing his thing, and he believes he's doing the right thing. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens at the end. Hopefully, it's not all set up and, you know, bad payoff, because I'm just tired of that.
Yeah,
at least the pacing doesn't suck so far.
No, and I think we've done a good thing by coming into the book kind of at the crux element rather than like all the setup way back when. So you're absolutely right. Warworld's popped up in Earth's atmosphere. Loads of refugees on here. Lex is in super Earth for Earthlings mode and wants to get rid of the aliens. Superman's done something on Warworld which has thrown the new gods and Apocalypse out of whack a little bit, and he needs to answer for that. Hence the two fractions are kind of having a pop at him. But you're absolutely right. It's a good episode. It's a good issue to show that really Superman and Lex are quite similar in their own ways, because they're both A, stubborn and pig-headed, and B, they both think they're right. And I've recently been rewatching Smallville.
Oh God.
I love Smallville. And season 7, where it's all about the Traveler and Lex is trying to find out all the stuff. Lex is only trying to protect the planet, really.
Yeah. Was Lex in season 7? No, wait.
Yeah, he leaves at the end of season 7.
Yeah, that was the last season. I recently rewatched Smallville, and I'm like trying to remember.
Yeah. It used to be my wife and I's date show. She used to used to come over on a Tuesday night, and I'd make chili off fajitas, and then we'd sit and we'd watch Smallville. Awesome. That was our thing.
Question for you, British man. Chili for you guys. Is that just meat and sauce, or is that like with beans and stuff?
Beans, peppers, mushrooms, red onions, mixed up, throw in the powder, throw in some tomato-based sauce. There you go. Jobs are good.
Nice. Okay.
Because
some places over here in the U.S., it's just you order chili and it's just the meat and the sauce, and you're like, "What the hell is this shit?" Yeah, exactly. Like that's really good on hot dogs. You know, I'm not eating that on.
So no, we cook fresh.
Okay. Because I recently watched Great British Bake Off's freaking s'mores abomination, and so I was like, "What do you guys do for chili over there?" Okay, so it's normal chili. All right.
And cheeseburgers, I grill the burgers, and then I get depends what I've done. If I've bought burgers from the supermarket, then it's whatever cheese we've got. So it could be blue cheese on the top, or if I make my own burgers, what I'll do is I'll make the patty with onion, and then I like to when I cook them, I put the cheese in the middle and then put 2 patties together. So when it cooks and you bite into it, the cheese just sort of like drips out.
Yeah, that's good. My mom kind of does something like that. She puts feta in it.
Yeah, feta's cool.
Good.
Feta's cool.
It's good. But yeah, cool. I was just interested because
cool.
My family friend, like her dad's from Scotland, her mom's from England, and then she was born over there, but then she grew up in Canada, so I don't know what
the hell she's cooking.
Yeah, what she's making.
Like, what?
So, like, is this normal for you guys or not? So.
So yeah, there you go. Cookery via the machine. There you go.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I like this book, Back on Tower, because I like the New Gods and I like Apocalypse. They're probably the only people that can go toe to toe with Superman with any startling regularity.
Yeah.
No, I like the lowest elements of the book. This is just a good book. It's Superman from the cover to the end. That's exactly what you want.
The cover is great too.
Yeah, no ifs, no buts, no coconuts on it. It is just what it is. And I think the lack of pretension is absolutely brilliant. So well done. There you go. We're all done. Woo. Four down. Woohoo! With a cookery lesson thrown in for good measure.
Yeah.
What more could you want on a podcast? Next time I'll show you how I met. No, I won't. Although I did have a Sunday lunch just before we started this pod. So,
me too.
Yeah. Toad in the hole is what we had.
I keep forgetting what that is.
Sausage in Yorkshire pudding. And then all the veg on top.
Yeah, I was like, I knew it was something to do with sausage. I just couldn't remember. Yeah.
Right, there you go. As we said, that's it for this week. For down. Don't forget to check out the UCPN for all your favorite shows, including
K-Pop Cosmos. We have had an episode recently, and then we're gonna have another one this month. So look forward to that. I
saw it and I retweeted it like everybody. At one point, I looked at the picture. I was like, "How dare you have people on with fishnets and not invite me?" And I realized when I looked at the picture properly, it was like spots. So
it's not fishnets.
Yeah, I'm not in the kaleidoscope. Just saying. And of course, don't forget our sister show, the No Price Podcast, which is everything about Marvel, the Disney Plus, and of course the MCU. So they'll be getting geared up for Andor, and of course they'll be talking about Wakanda Forever. As long as they don't talk about that god awful Rihanna song, everything will be fine. All right, Freyja, been a blast as always.
Yeah,
thank you very much. I have been your host, Johnny Machine Hughes, and as always, adios.
Bye, guys.